Now, let's review several video examples that would not result in a flop being called by game officials. On this first example, the highlighted defensive player, Joe Ingles, absorbs contact from the dribbler, Malcolm Brogdon, and Ingles falls to the floor. Ingles' fall was consistent with the nature of the contact, and it was not theatrical. A no call was the correct ruling, and Ingles would not be called for a flop on this play. Now, let's look at contact in the post. Here, the highlighted defensive player, Royce O'Neal, is guarding his opponent, Tobias Harris, and Harris then moves into O'Neal's body as he attempts to create space. O'Neal absorbs the contact from Harris, and he goes to the floor in a manner that was consistent with the contact on the play. The reaction by O'Neal was not exaggerated or theatrical, and no flop would be assessed here. On this next example, the highlighted defensive player, Paolo Banchero, will absorb the contact from the offensive player, Jusuf Nurkic, and Banchero falls to the floor. We can see that Banchero falls in a manner that was consistent with the nature of the contact, and his fall was not theatrical or exaggerated. No flopping penalty would be assessed here to Banchero, and instead, an offensive foul was correctly called on Nurkic. Now, let's look at some examples involving offensive players. Here, the highlighted offensive player, Buddy Hield, attempts a three-point field goal, and the defensive player, Jarrett Allen, challenges the shot. We can see that Allen makes minimal contact to Hield's left arm after the shot is released, and Hield sits down in a reflexive action to the contact. Hield's fall is not exaggerated or theatrical, so no flop would be assessed here. Watch this next play closely. Here, the highlighted offensive player in the post, Jalen Brunson, spins toward the baseline and attempts a field goal, and the defensive player, DeMar DeRozan, makes body-to-body contact with Brunson. Brunson manages to get the shot off, but as he is off balance, he goes down to the floor after releasing the shot. Brunson does not fall in an exaggerated or theatrical manner, so no flop would be assessed here. Note that a defensive foul on DeRozan was needed here. Let's look at the contact on the screen on this next play. The highlighted offensive player, Alex Caruso, moves to set a screen for his teammate, Zach LaVine, and Caruso braces for contact. The defensive player, Sadiq Bey, does make marginal contact, and this causes Caruso, who is slightly off balance, to sit down on the play. As Caruso does not fall to the floor in a theatrical or exaggerated manner, no flop would be assessed here. The final example involves rebounding action. The highlighted player, Jeff Green, is establishing position for a defensive rebound when he is contacted by his opponent, Rui Hachimura. This contact causes Green to move forward in a manner that is consistent with the nature of the contact. Green's reaction is not theatrical or exaggerated, and no flop would be assessed. We will close the video with a few additional notes. A flopping violation will not be directly reviewable via coach's challenge. However, the referees can call a flop on certain other triggered replay reviews, or rescind a flop on a play when officials called both a foul and a flop. The league office will continue to have the ability to assess flops post-game. We hope this video has been helpful in explaining the NBA's new flopping rule.